Welcome to 1000 PS. Welcome to the launch of Bridgestone's new 33 Sports Touring tyre. Now we're going to talk tyres, which means some of you are going to start falling asleep. But tyres are possibly one of the most important aspects of your motorcycle. A good tyre or a bad tyre completely ruin your motorcycle or completely improve your motorcycle. Which is why tyres are so important, especially on motorcycles. So don't skimp on cost, don't skimp on quality. Tyres are essential. Now these new sports touring tyres from Bridgestone, the new T33s, replace the T32s, which are a sports touring tyre. Now I've got experience of the sports touring tyre, the previous model, the 32s, because I've got those fitted to my actual RT that I have home back in Yorkshire. But these are the new T33s from Bridgestone. And like kind of every product, there's an evolution of tyres. Like mobile phones improve, clothing improves, crash helmets improve, tyres improve, and this is the next generation. But Bridgestone haven't reinvented the wheel, avoiding the cliche. They've just improved the T32 in a few significant factors. One of the biggest claims is that Bridgestone claim that the new 33 is nearly 50% better at longevity. It's going to give you 50% more miles, or just under. That's their claimed figure. And the old tyre, the T32, was really good on mileage. So to improve that by 50% is a real significant claim. I think the actual figure is 47 or 49 or thereabouts. But there's a set of Bridgestones, which hopefully we've got in the pre-roll, that's done 10,000 miles, that still look pretty good quality. So we've had the opportunity today to test the T33s, but obviously we can't test 10,000 miles, and we've had absolute perfect weather here in Croatia, so we can't test the wet weather improvement. But what we can do is kind of get a feeling for the tyre and give you some kind of feedback to what we think. What's interesting for me is that the rear end, the rear tyre, is like a 3 compound. So the middle compound, where you're doing all that motorway miles, all that longevity, that's got the new compound, that's got the new tread pattern, that's what's going to give you that longevity, that 47-48% claim. Then on the sidewalls, it's pretty much similar to what it was before, and the front is a single compound. The construction has changed a little, so Bridgestone are claiming it's just a little bit easier to turn in, a little bit more user friendly, and they're also claiming how the bike steers is slightly different, and they're also claiming wet weather grip, which thankfully we've not had the chance to test. But we have had the chance to test a selection of bikes, because previously when you had the 32, there was a separate tyre for heavier bikes like the RT or the GS. Now all tyres are the same, so it's one tyre for all the bikes, no matter what the weight is. The bike I chose mainly for today's ride was the Honda SP. It's a bike that I really like, it's a bike that I feel comfortable with, and it's a bike that you can turn the traction off really quick and really easy, because I want to feel what the tyre's doing. Now normally, if you've got a tyre that is great for longevity, then you don't have initial grip, because in a mad scenario, BSB slicks have got the best grip, but they last 20 laps. And historically, tyres that had last 10,000 miles were a bit solid and didn't really do anything. But the grip and the warm-up and the heat and the feedback from the new T33s is really impressive, considering what Bridgestone are claiming on that longevity. There's really good feel through the front tyre. The Hornet feels really composed. The Hornet feels really sporty. And I've had no moments, no slides, no nothing. And we've been pushing relatively hard in this beautiful, beautiful weather. The second bike that I wanted to jump on was the big new 1300 GS, because I've ridden the GS before, but on kind of like 50/50 tyres or more off-road bias tyres. But fitting T33s to the big GS really transformed it into an almost comical big supermoto. You could really throw it on its side and just have fun, almost to the point where I was like, hey BMW, why don't you fit some 17-inch front wheels and just make a big mega moto? It'd be awesome. And then we've jumped around, we've jumped on different bikes to try and get like a broad feeling of the bike across different bikes. But for me, I wanted to focus on those two bikes. I've got something sporty and then something with some weight, and the tyres worked really well in all conditions. But to be fair, the roads here in Croatia have been perfect. The conditions have been perfect. And I have to tip my hat to Croatia because this is the first time I've ridden here. And the roads, the scenery have been absolutely amazing. What a brilliant way to test the T33s. I can't wait till we get a set back in the UK because I want to fit these to my long-term RT. I want to put some more miles on it. But I've been impressed with the longevity. I've been impressed with the wet weather grip on the T32s, and the T33s, according to Bridgestone, are another step ahead. Obviously, we can't compare it to the T32 because we don't have the tyre here. We can't compare it to other tyres across the range. That is when we need to do a group test. That's when we need to get all the sports touring tyres together on the same bike in different conditions and see how they're performing. But if the Bridgestone T33 lives up to that claim and longevity, and it's as good as the T32, if not better, then Bridgestone have done a good job.